The end user has always viewed our retrofit projects as a means of delivering return on investment. That is, it's always been about energy savings. And you're only as good as the savings that you can deliver in a timely manner. As we race to 0 watts, I think that the value proposition of energy savings is rapidly declining. And so what's next for us as an industry is to figure out that next bucket of value. So in a nutshell, we're talking about non-energy benefits as it relates to productivity, as it relates to this concept of human-centric and or life-centric design. And so if we can find a way to get the end users to figure out this value that doesn't include what's on the electric meter, that's the next big thing.
Welcome to the Virtual Lighting Design Community Podcast, where we take you on an exciting journey through the captivating world of lighting. In each episode, we bring you insightful interviews with industry experts, exploring the latest trends, innovations, and challenges in the field of lighting design. We recently had the pleasure of attending the IESANZ Light in Focus event in Sydney back in June 2023. In today's episode, we have an exclusive interview with Frank Agraz, the president of the Illuminating Engineering Society, or the IES North America. Frank is highly respected in the lighting industry, and we are thrilled to have him join VLDC's Amardeep Dugar as they delve into the next big thing in lighting. Before we get into the interview, we'd like to extend a special thanks to our premium supporters: Aerolight, Creative Lighting Asia, Airco, and the Signify Lighting Academy. Your support allows us to continue to produce high-quality content. For a visual experience, don't forget to check out the video version on our YouTube channel. Joining our online community is another way to connect with fellow lighting enthusiasts, share ideas, and stay updated with the latest industry news. Whether you are a seasoned professional or just starting your lighting journey, our community is a welcoming space for everyone. Engage in discussions, ask questions, and learn from the experiences of others in the field. Check us out at www.vld.community. Now, without further ado, let's get into the heart of today's episode with Frank Agraz. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Virtual Lighting Design Community. You can see we are traveling around quite a bit. We were in Dubai and now we are down under in Australia at the IES Light in Focus conference. I'm Amardeep Dugar, one of the founders of the VLD community platform, and today we have a very special and eminent guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Amardeep. My name is Frank Agraz. I'm the president of the IES United States, North America, depending on how we want to categorize it. Global, some would say. So, very happy to be here.
So, Frank, the first question that we're going to have is, what best describes the mission and the vision of the IES in your words?
So, founded in 1906, IES really exists for one main reason, and that is we're here to improve the lighted environment by bringing those together with lighting knowledge and translating that knowledge into a way that benefits the public. Simply stated, the IES is really about education, it's about community, and it's about bringing all those different ideas and thoughts in a way that really allows us to better the community. And one more way to say that is we really are a standards development organization. So, among our 7,000 members, we have quite a bit of volunteers who help create those documents.
I'm one of them.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So thank you for helping. So really that's kind of what we do, is we create those documents that others then bring in as standards and eventually codes. So
it's fantastic, and actually ties in with the whole concept of the VLDC community. It's a community, it's a platform for education. So it's so much of synergy that is happening between the IES and the VLD community. So coming on to this actual theme of the IESANZ Light in Focus conference, it says, what's next in lighting? So what, according to you, could be the next big thing in lighting?
So for a while, we thought it was going to be the next technology, right? Quantum dots or bioluminescence or whatever the next technology was. I think it then migrated to this concept of IoT, advanced controls, and that still is lingering. But in my estimation, I think this concept of artificial intelligence is really going to be that next wave. And more specifically, how can our lighting community leverage AI in a way that improves that lighting designer and end user experience? So I think that's going to be the next push.
UX is definitely the next big thing, is what they say, along with AI. But you've always mentioned that you're from the retrofit industry.
Yes.
So on a personal level, what would be your contribution to this next big thing from your experience and the number of years that you've spent in the retrofit industry?
So I appreciate that question. Being on that existing building lighting retrofit side of the equation, the end user has always viewed our retrofit projects as a means of delivering return on investment. That is, it's always been about energy savings. And you're only as good as the savings that you can deliver in a timely manner. As we race to 0 watts, I think that the value proposition of energy savings is rapidly declining. And so what's next for us as an industry is to figure out that next bucket of value. So in a nutshell, we're talking about non-energy benefits as it relates to productivity, as it relates to this concept of human-centric and or life-centric design. And so if we can find a way to get the end users to figure out this value that doesn't include what's on the electric meter, that's the next big thing.
That's going to be a challenge, isn't it? Because you're moving from a very tangible to something which is a little bit more intangible in terms of...
Absolutely. It's complex, it's difficult. It's not as simple as looking at an electric bill from last month to this month.
Yeah.
And so we need to challenge our practitioners to become more well-versed in these other value propositions and to educate beyond cost divided by savings.
Exactly.
There has to be a new way moving forward.
And in fact, in this same line, there were so many interesting presentations that we saw from yesterday. There were a couple of thought leaders from the VLD community who presented yesterday, and today also we had a couple of thought leaders present. Now, among all these topics that you've listened to, right from biodynamic impact to smart lighting, what was it that kind of stood out to you as a topic of discussion?
Right. So 2 of them really stuck out to me. One of them was this concept of a smarter lighting system using autonomous lighting, autonomous controls. And so if you can envision a lighting system that could autonomously commission itself or adjust based on the conditions throughout the week, month, or year. I know it seems like there's a lot of research being done. Also, this concept of what's called human-centric lighting. It's kind of a funny way to phrase it as something that's new, because we've been doing human-centric lighting since the beginning.
Yep.
And so I think it's important to value all the other non-human elements within that system. So, and as actually you said in your discussion, maybe we call it something more like life-centric lighting. And how do we take into account the flora and the fauna and the night sky and all these other things, and just be a little more intelligent about how we promote a design to our end client.
Actually, the definition of good design is going to change, isn't it? When we start bringing this whole concept of life-centric. So we move beyond human centricity and try to include a lot more lives, and it becomes a good design for a holistic point of view.
Yes. And again, with all this comes education.
Yes.
And understanding what does the client want versus what do they need. And I think it's incumbent upon us to help to educate so they can make a better informed decision.
Yeah. So, the virtual lighting design community, I don't know whether you've heard about this before, but this was born out during the pandemic, and this was just something which some of our founders we were discussing over a breakfast table, and the idea just came up, and we started discussing and started developing this into something more. So, what are your thoughts about this whole virtual community, and where this could go in the future?
So, as we all know, COVID really pushed our community and everyone else into this, lockdown where we were forced to go virtual.
Yeah.
The days of the Zoom meeting and all these computer-facing distant interactions just became mandatory. So I applaud you and your team for capitalizing on that as being a virtual environment. Generally speaking, I would say anything we can do to encourage the communication among our designer community is extremely valuable. That being said, in person is probably the best.
Absolutely.
But absent of that, because of cost, time, or other reasons, what a great way to fill in the gap virtually. So it's a great idea, and I appreciate you doing it.
The idea of this, what we were even discussing, is the idea of the continuum. Physical events are just great. It's just great to meet people, get a nice big hug, warm hug. But then how do we keep in touch after that?
Right.
So maybe a virtual community like that could be a nice complementary to these whole physical events.
So I have to admit, this was the first that I'd heard about this when I arrived here. Okay. So I have not had a chance to really dive into it, but from what I've heard you and the team discuss, what a great idea. As far as how do you really capitalize on that? If I was building it from scratch, right, I would take a look at live sessions, recorded webinars, possibly a designer resource guide, just to get that URL that maybe you heard about but didn't know where to go. And then any other written content from the community, any or all of those things, I think would be a good way to push forward.
In fact, all of these already exist in our website.
Perfect. Okay, my work is done here. That's great. I honestly did not look at it, so I'm glad we're on the same page.
So one question that I would ask is, finally, is this: what is it that makes you wake up every morning? What is it that you're passionate about, and that makes you get up from bed and keeps you going in this whole profession of lighting?
So the way I view that, I have my inner circles, and in my world, I have 3 circles. The first circle, the reason why I get up, is my family. I think that family should be priority number 1. My wife, my children, and my ability to connect with them is that first get up in the morning moment. Number 2 is my employer and the things that I do on a day-to-day basis and during my day job. The team that reports to me, I have a responsibility to make sure that they have what they need and to be able to manage and lead that team in a way that wants them to get up in the morning. The third circle is with the IES and with our lighting community. I feel it's an honor to serve as the 118th president. I don't take it lightly at all. We have many responsibilities on the board, and you as being a board member as well, I really appreciate all that you bring to the table.
Thank you.
So
it's been an honor. Serving on the board.
It's been a wonderful journey. It's about to end officially, but I will move into that past president role, still working together with you. So
that'll be great. Looking forward to some more good discussions about this whole thing, where the IES of the community going to grow.
That's right.
And where it'll be. And one last question before you go. There's all the industry is talking about change. So much of change happening. So if you, as the president of a society, a leader of your team, there's one thing that you could change about the lighting industry, what would that be?
So I'm going to revert back to my second circle, which is within my retrofit community. And I would say if I could change one thing, I would change the way that our customers evaluate and approve lighting projects.
Okay.
As I said earlier, it's all about simple payback, it's return on investment. And if they could just see the forest for the trees, where we can take a look at those non-energy benefits, the productivity, and just know that this is a good decision without having to justify every single penny in a way that sometimes hurts them. You know, they think they're doing the right thing, but worst case, just at least go to total cost of ownership and look more long term.
Yeah.
But they're so stuck in the
I mean, there's this term called penny wise and pound foolish.
Unfortunately, that is how many of these CFOs and entities that's how they compute. So that's what I would change.
That's definitely a great change to have. We as the lighting design community will be so happy to see this change.
Right. And thinking about it just now, obviously that extends to beyond the retrofit community.
Exactly.
I mean, the phrase VE, right?
Yeah.
How many times has this same concept been applied to new construction projects?
Exactly.
So, you know, why are you killing that amazing control system? Why are you removing these features that would really benefit your team in the long term?
Great. Thank you so much, Frank.
So,
It was
Amardeep,
amazing to have you on this discussion board here. And looking forward to more interactions with you and the IES.
thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
As we wrap up this episode of the Virtual Lighting Design Community Podcast, we want to express our gratitude to all our listeners for joining us today. We hope you found our interview with Frank Agraz, the president of the Illuminating Engineering Society North America, insightful and inspiring. If you enjoyed this episode, we would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a review or comment and let us know what you think. Join us next time for another illuminating interview.